Questions. I think I'd like to start off with one. I mean, each of the speakers here has a very innovative business model, but I can imagine, given where they're at, that the transition from doing things the old way to doing things the way these speakers are advocating is not exactly easy. So I'd like to ask, what do you see as obstacles to further growth and adoption in your business?
I'm happy to start with that. The music industry is a huge obstacle for everything that I try to do, and it's everyone likes to hate on the record labels, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But it's a challenging sort of space to be innovative in, and it's there's a lot of gray, especially, right now we're doing something under a compulsory license, so it's a little bit more clear to us. But the rates that we have to pay for music aren't set by us or aren't set by the labels or aren't set, in sort of some negotiation between the two parties. They're set by the Copyright Royalty Board. And so who knows sort of what's going to happen with that and how that could affect what we're trying to do. Just in general, though, what's sort of, your question is what makes it difficult to innovate, right? With sort of the state of the music industry makes it difficult because the record labels have been losing so much money. Their revenues have been falling for the past 10 years, really since Napster, and not only Napster, people stealing music, but since iTunes became the dominant platform, and they sort of unbundled the album. So instead of paying $18 or $15 for something, you pay 99 cents for the one good song. Sort of trying to do interesting, innovative things and work with companies as partners, sort of who are losing this much revenue on a yearly basis is a really difficult thing. And some people really want to innovate and do radically new things and sort of totally change the direction and the business model for recorded music. Other people sort of want to hold on to everything that they have and make sure that quarter over quarter they're not losing too much money. So for one of the biggest challenges, there's a lot of challenges facing our business, but one of the biggest ones is sort of navigating a really tricky industry, which is the recorded music one.
So I think I might have you beat being in government, but a colleague of mine in California, when I was in state government in California, said to me, and this is a quote, it's something like, the system was designed to grind your brain to dust. Right? So we have this challenge in government about being stable, right? So there's an inherent feedback for folks to not take risks, right? So that's probably our biggest challenge. However, while the federal government prints money, it's not like, an individual agency prints money or just has, oh, look, we'll just go spend a whole bunch of money in this innovation and R&D here. So we actually have to think about every barrier as an opportunity, Larry. I mean, I think that's where we're coming from. When we look at the innovations that we're putting into in data, it's really, a lot of it's because of the President's directive, and a lot of it's also because we actually have a really, really burdened agency. We have, I think, the second most formal data collections to the Department of Defense, even though we're only about 1,400 people and DOD's, several hundred thousand. So as an agency, we have a massive data asset, and we have to look at those as either we're really smart and can use them, or people, other people outside the agency are going to be more smart. So let's just open it up. And I think our whole notion of opening up those data assets so that people can make novel and other interesting applications of them is a space that we want to play in, and that's a space where all of our innovation is going to happen.
Yep. So I think we very much share the point of view that these obstacles are really the opportunities in our business. We solve these problems, and it makes our business more valuable. But the single biggest obstacle that I feel as a marketer that we face is just awareness. And as part of awareness, mindset. The vast majority of users who come to oDesk, both on the employer side and on the contractor side, come because they heard about it from a friend. or they used it at one company and they moved to a new company, or they were working on oDesk and then they ended up taking a job in a company and they brought oDesk with them as a resource. But driving that awareness is something that, we feel like we're well down that path, but it is, there are 2 billion, I think, web-connected people in the world, and only about 1 million of them are on oDesk. So we have a huge, yes, I mean a huge sort of stretch of land to cover before we'll feel like we've really done a great job. The other thing is mindset, which is just, I work at oDesk, and I was a customer before I got there, and I find even within the company, when we need work done, or we need to add someone to the team, it's not always a first instinct to think, is this work that can be done remotely? Is there somebody more talented outside the Bay Area that we should be looking at to do this work than and so just getting people to really think about everything that's on their to-do list and everything that sort of, everything they need done, and think working remotely is a way to go. Those are my biggest challenges. And then I think there's other things too that I would say are just logistical challenges. Broadband access is really important for our business to work well globally. Like we need people in all parts of the world to be able to get to the site and to use it. There's regulatory issues. There's moving money around the world type issues. All of those types of things. Well, but we feel like we're kind of well on the path towards solving those problems.